And at this time, I will now recognize the ranking member of the subcommittee, the gentlelady from Florida, for 5 minutes for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dr. Wagner, thank you for going into greater detail on the test demonstration nuclear reactors that are underway. You said 10 companies and 11 projects are currently shooting for this July 4th, 2026 goal. Can you go into greater detail?
Sure, and I would say that there is a lot of detail out there, and I'd be happy to follow up with like written detail if that would be helpful.
And would you agree to come and brief the committee staff and committee members?
Of course, I'd be happy to, and thank you for asking for that. Would you like a little bit more now?
Yes.
Or okay, all right. As you mentioned, the reactor pilot program was established out of the executive order by the Department of Energy, and the goal is to have 3 new reactor systems critical by July 4th of 2026. I would like to take a moment to say that what does that mean? I get a lot of questions about what's criticality mean versus, say, commercial power generation. Criticality is a step in the pathway of a nuke system towards a power generation system. So it's a normal progression of the technology testing and demonstration that occurs. So it's sort of an early step in that process. 10 companies, as you mentioned, have 11 different reactors that are shooting for this July 4th. I doubt they will all make it, but the thing that's really exciting is that I do think 3 can make it, and the others will follow quickly thereafter. So while July 4th is a major milestone, there's an August and a September and a October that will follow, and I think we will see quite a number of these reactors, again, as their initial demonstration in 2026 that will lead to commercial deployment.
And how many of those projects are supported by the Loan Program Office?
I'm not aware that any of them are supported by the Loan Program Office. I'll put a question, I'm not aware that
What is the funding mix of their private sector contributions versus U.S. taxpayer?
So they are, there is some variations, but they are majority private sector funded. So when these projects were selected by the Department of Energy, what they sort of won was access to support and DOE licensing and facilities to the extent that we have it, but they were responsible for their own costs for these projects.
Great. Well, we'll look forward to the detailed briefing moving ahead.
Thank you.
Ms. Greenwald, you mentioned in your testimony that historically Congress chose to separate out the role of the Nuclear Regulatory Commission ensuring the safety of nuclear reactors from the role of the Department of Energy, which conducts research and supports, promotes the industry. Why is that separation important, and how does it help maintain confidence in the safety of our civilian nuclear fleet?
Thank you for the question. It's all about public trust, and the decision that was made to separate AEC into, sorry for the alphabet soup, to NRC and what was then ERDA, which became DOE, but to separate out the NRC with the agency that became DOE, that was actually supported by both supporters and opponents of nuclear energy, or people who are concerned about nuclear energy, because they thought it would increase public trust in the technology, and they also thought it would give an opportunity to make the case both for and against particular technology decisions. So I think it was, at the time, and this was in 1974 in the Energy Reorganization Act, that decision was made.
What about today? Because of the assault on the NRC, the kind of big footing by DOE of the NRC, our safety regulatory agency, what is the risk going forward?
So we definitely want to make sure that we maintain this separation and maintain NRC's independence. And that's, we think it is highly important, as we have a paper that we're happy to provide for the record. I may have included a site in our testimony where we looked at the sort of history of the authorities that DOD, DOE, and NRC have had. And DOE and DOD have had authorities to oversee and authorize or allow for projects for quite some time. And so they do have experience. They have some different rules and approaches, but it is possible for this to work out quite well. And I actually agree with Dr. Wagner that they're making progress on making sure that this goes well, and NRC, in
With
fact,
my
is-
last 15 seconds,
sorry.
are you concerned at all with the loss of professional and technical staff? At the NRC and DOE, DOE has lost over 3,500 professional staff over the past year, including the Office of Nuclear Energy.
Yes, this is, why I'm focusing so much on that in my testimony, is that we really want to make sure that both DOE and NRC are sufficiently staffed to capably exercise these responsibilities and implement these important programs.
Thank you very much.
The gentleman